Hello and welcome to our how-to video series on the APIIDA API Gateway Manager. Today we'd like to show you how easy it is to add a gateway to the Gateway Manager, discover the APIs running on it, and then add the gateway to a dashboard so we can easily monitor its status and health, if you will. In order to do so, let's go to Environment. And as a default, as you can see, we have already created 3 environments for you. Development, test, and production, which is quite a common setup for most organizations. And of course, you can freely customize those. You can add additional ones, rename them, etc., according to your requirements. Now, in order to add a node to those environments, let's go to Add and choose Single Node. And we now need to provide some information, if you will, on how to actually connect to that target gateway. The only prerequisite you need to have in place on the gateway is what is called the RESTman service, which comes with the Layer 7 API gateway and which you just need to enable in order to connect to the gateway. The only other prerequisite you might need is what is called the APIIDA Solution Kit, which you need to install on the gateway in case you also want to capture metrics data or performance data from that gateway. The solution kit is available for free from our website and can be installed within a minute or two. Very easy to do. Now let's configure the gateway that we want to add. So give it a description or a name, if you will. So in my case, it's Dev Gateway 1 as an example. Here is where to find it. In my case, this is an on-premise Layer 7 API gateway, and mine is available on port 9441. I want to add it to my development environment, and the only other thing I need to give it is my credentials on how to connect, how to authenticate, if you will, to the gateway. And as I want to capture those metrics that we talked about, I also turn on that option. Now let's check whether everything's been configured correctly and whether we can reach those services on the gateway. And yes, indeed. So the RESTman service is available, and also the APIIDA Solution Kit is available, and we can capture those metrics data. So let's go ahead and now add this gateway to our environment. And within a matter of seconds, we have now added the gateway. We can already see metrics data coming in from the gateway. That's how easy it is to add a gateway to the Gateway Manager. Now, as a next step, what we now want to do is to discover the actual APIs running on that gateway. In order to do so, we'll just go to Discover APIs. And again, within a matter of seconds, we'll have a list of all the APIs running on the gateway that we have just added. Now this is a brand new gateway, more or less, so the only thing running on it is that APIIDA Solution Kit, which we just talked about. And in my case, for demo purposes, I have a mock bank service running on the gateway with a stock quote API, which essentially gives me a random stock quote price every other minute or so, right? So let's say we want to add that API, so we'll just select it, register APIs, and we again are now immediately receiving data like, for example, the number of requests to that service. Now, of course, at this point in time, I'm not sending any requests, so that's why it says 0. Okay. Now, as a next step, as said, let's add that gateway that we've just added to the Gateway Manager to a dashboard. So as said, that we can easily monitor its current status or health, if you want. So let's go to Dashboard. Now, as a side note on dashboards, within the APIIDA API Gateway Manager, you can define multiple dashboards. You can completely and freely customize them based on a catalog of widgets, which I'm going to show you in a second. according to your specific requirements. What I mean by that is based on the role that you have within the organization, you will certainly want to have differing views, if you will, on the data. So for example, an operator will want to have a different dashboard with different widgets, different views, different angles, if you will, to look at data than, for example, the owner of an API who would be interested in different parameters, if you will. Okay, hope that makes sense. Now let's go ahead and customize my dashboard here by going to Options and Configure Content. So in my case, what I'd like to do is first add a new layout block. So say I want to have 3 additional columns of equal size. And then I can customize basically what I want to see in each of those columns by adding a widget. So let's go ahead. And here's that catalog of widgets which I just talked about. So that gives you different modules, if you will, or widgets that you can choose from, giving you different capabilities to help you monitor, help you visualize the status of your gateways, the status, performance of your APIs, and so forth, right? So in my case, say in the first column, I want to see a very simple view of the status of a gateway. So let's add that widget. Let's configure it by just giving it a title, if you will, and select which gateway you want to see in that widget. You can add additional widgets in that same column, or again, add additional layout blocks. So as you can see, completely and freely customizable. And before we go back and take a look at our dashboard, let's say in column number 2, we add an additional widget. And in this case, we'll pick that one, which gives you those metrics data over the last 5, 10, or 30 minutes. Again, configure it, give it a title, select the gateway you want to see, and that's it. So let's save the changes, go back, and again, within a matter of a few minutes, we have added a gateway to our dashboard, the current status of the gateway, and some data over the last, I said, 5, 10, or 30 minutes to show us how the gateway has been performing in that time frame. All right, so that concludes today's video. Hope you liked it. Thank you for watching.